Yo, yo, yo. I got a special guest today, man. What's good, Titans Rossi? I got a special guest today, man. He hit me up yesterday. I hit him up earlier this year to ask him for a collab. He's a good friend of mine, man. He does YouTube content, Houston content all over. He also does some other content, sports content every now and then. His link at the top end of the description. Make sure y'all hit him up. His name is Houston Sports Talk, man. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing awesome, man. So, explain yourself, man. Let the viewers know, man, where you from. How long you been doing YouTube content, and what makes it? Well, how you become a Houston fan?
Well, I've always been a Houston fan. I'm from Houston, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I've been actually YouTube. Monday is my 1 year anniversary on YouTube, so I'm gonna do
Okay.
some stuff to celebrate that stuff. But I mean, yeah, I'm excited for the 1 year anniversary. I'm gonna do something like special. I mean, I want to go out to dinner. I know that's something special, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I do this because I love H Town and I love the teams. I know some of them aren't doing so good right now, but I'm still
Yep.
here to support them.
That's all we can do, man. Throughout the struggles, and ain't like we never had these struggles before, man. So all we can do is just watch our team grow. Is just watch the young guys grow. Even though we're gonna lose a lot of games, we gotta just let these young guys grow. We gotta expect. We just want improvement, and we just want this team to get better as the year goes on. So man, we're gonna talk about the game last night. So last night we had the lead last night. We lost 105 to 103 last night after coming off of two good wins against Sacramento and Utah. How you feel about the game last night, and what was your thoughts of the game last night?
First, I'm gonna start off to be completely honest. I didn't watch anything besides the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Last night, I don't know. Last night was kind of a night, like one of those nights where it feels like it's 9, but then you look at it, it's like 11.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I turned on, I watched the fourth quarter. I was impressed that they were close and they were winning. I was very impressed the way they played in the fourth quarter. But those last 2 minutes, I mean, I'm impressed for the way they played the whole game and the fourth quarter. But the way they finished it, I'm still not particularly impressed. But yeah, it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would have went really well for the Rockets if they got the dub, but they didn't. And Curry just,
Yeah.
I mean, Curry's Curry.
Yeah. I mean, last night we was up from the start of the game, pretty much to that in pretty much to that last night, but Jalen Green last night went 0 for 11, I believe. I mean, how capable do you? I mean, I know he's had some struggles in his efficiency this year. Is that a really concern for you going later into his career? Is that actually a concern for you this year? Come going into this later stage of his career about Jalen Green, or do you think he's going to improve on the efficiency of his shot and everything? Or what do you think about Jalen Green this season so far?
It's not a concern for career, but for right now, I think it is. I mean, I didn't think Jalen Green was going to have a great rookie season from the start, from the depth of this team. Like they have Gordon, they have Wood, they have KPJ. I knew that there wasn't going to be a lot of high scoring games unless the team wasn't healthy because you got a lot of depth. And when you got a lot of depth, it's not going to like the difference between the Warriors and the Rockets. I mean, I'm not going to say Curry doesn't have any help, but Curry can easily go drop 40, 50 a night for the Rockets. It's really hard for someone to go drop 30 or 40 because, I mean, other players got to score. I mean, I think the highest score we've seen this year is like 30 for Gordon, and the team was barely healthy. So, I mean,
Facts, man. All facts on that part, man. Yeah, like I said, I'm in agreement with you, man. I think he's got the knack to score. I just think he's inefficient of doing what he does. Sometimes he gets a lot of caught up in trying to force things like he did last night. He tried to go to the basket, it wasn't there. They were in a zone
I mean,
defense. Go
he
ahead.
got a great offensive rebound at the end of the game. I mean,
Yeah.
the Rockets didn't score, but still, 3 points is unacceptable. I think he's finished with three, right?
Yeah, he finished with three, and most of those came from the free throw line. It was a technical shot and a free throw shot. That was it.
I mean,
Yeah,
so yes, it's unacceptable to not score a lot, but to score three, it's really unacceptable. I mean, if the guy got like 10, I wouldn't be mad because other
yeah,
guys like Wood and KPJ and Gordon are scoring. But just to get three and what you said, like over 11 or whatever he was, that it's
Hmm.
just not acceptable. And I mean, we've seen him in good moments, like go back to all the way to the beginning of the season in the LA game where he hit clutch
Yep.
shots, and then go back to almost the end of the year when he finished those games against Miami and LA at home. He played very good. And
Yep.
then another game I really liked for him was the game when he got injured against Chicago. He only
Yeah.
played like the
He was
first
off to a
quarter
great
and got like
start.
10 points. I mean,
Yeah,
so
he was off to a great
is
start against Chicago.
but I wonder
Court.
if injuries is going to be a problem for him. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't think he's really going to strive until the Rockets get rid of Gordon and Wood and probably Wall too. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I everything you said, man, I'm online with that. Everything you said, but I mean, does it come into coaching if you know a guy doesn't have it? I know he has faith in Jalen Green, and clearly he has faith in Jalen Green. Coach Silas has faith in Jalen Green. Because he left him, he got him on the floor. He had him on the floor. He had Eric Gordon on the floor last night. I thought is it possible at that stage of the game, you got Josh Christopher is hot. He is hot at this point right now. He did hit two big threes in the fourth quarter to tie the game and one to give us 5 point lead, 93-88 at that point in time. Or you got Amani Brooks on the bench. I don't know why is he not playing more basketball at this part of the. If Jalen Green is 0-11, would you take him out in that situation, or would you do Steven Silas? Would you keep him in? Would you
Um,
take him out if the guy doesn't really have it tonight?
to be completely honest, I think I would keep him as a coach because
Okay.
here's the thing: number one, we got to get him to get back on track, and number two, if you look back to the game in Utah, Garrison Matthews was so on fire that he benched Jalen Green,
Yeah.
and we don't want temper in the locker room. So if you bench him for the last couple, it could turn into like a Russell Westbrook, Frank Vogel thing, which I don't think Jalen Green has that much like anger inside of him. But I
Yeah.
just think that if you bench him 2 games in a row when it was a very close game, trying to beat one of the top teams in the West, I think it could create some temper in the locker room. And we all know what happened the last time there was temper in the locker room, and that wasn't good.
But between Christian Wood and KPJ, I believe that was the scenario.
I
Right
was
there.
I was
So
actually at that game too.
oh yeah. I mean, after I think that was against Denver. That the second half,
That was
John
the New
Lucas
that was no
got
that was the
on
New
him.
Year's Day game. I mean,
Yeah,
what a way to start the new year, right? I mean,
yeah. What a way to start the new year. I mean, with conflict to start the new year, and I mean, hey man, just
might as
I'm
well
glad we got
might as
our
well have done that the night before against Miami.
every you know what, but ever since that New Year date, Kevin Porter Jr. has been actually play good basketball. After that, ever since he's knowing how to become a point guard, his shooting has really got better, even though his shooting hasn't.
I
I
actually
expect him to be a better shooter than
right.
what he is. But what you think about Kevin Porter? I mean, he's gotten better since that day.
I'll say I think the Rockets are helping his mental state. I mean, he probably still has some issues, but I mean the Rockets are going to get him help, and that's why they traded for him, and that's why he's not going to leave unless the
Yep.
Rockets trade for him. And I think they have respect for him. I think they know he's a talented player. But I mean, yeah, he's been on fire lately. If you look back to the Washington game, then the Utah game, then last night, um, I was a little upset with Christian Wood last night because then
Hmm.
KPJ was like, "Give me the damn ball," and he wouldn't give it to him. I mean, he finally did, and it was like 5 minute shot clock, and then KPJ took a bad shot because Christian Wood
Yeah.
wasted all the time just staring there with the ball. But
Yep.
you could have given him the ball with like 12 or 10 seconds on the shot clock, and he could have created a layup or like a three to give the Rockets a big lead and probably get a win versus Golden State. So I kind of blame Christian Wood for the loss, but I still think it was all in all a great night for all the players and all the team. It's a learning experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, make sure y'all sub up to my guy, Houston Sports Talk. Man, he's his link is basically at the pin comment. What's good, Grand Isles and Sleeping Angels? What's good, Sports Talk? What's good, man? Appreciate that subscribe, man. You say you from Lake Charles, man. Hey, man, I'm from right out of Houston, baby. Right out of Houston. Got my Houston guy, Houston little buddy up in the building, man. Make sure y'all give him a sub. It's a pin comment, but appreciate the subscribe, man. I will be at your chat. I know you're doing 49ers and Packers today. So I will be that, man. Shout out to you, man, for the subscribe. So again, Coach Steven Silas, man, how you evaluating him and going forward? How's you evaluating him?
Oh man, I mean, I think he's having a better coach season than he did last year. I mean, you got to still think about everything this man has been through with
Yeah,
when it comes to the start of. I mean, number one, being a coach for the first time in his life when he's been an assistant for his whole life. But
yep,
um, and then he comes in. We're living in a global pandemic, and he comes in with Westbrook and Harden saying we want the hell out of here. And actually, I did have a little argument last night. I made a Westbrook and Wall video. I think you commented
yeah,
on it,
yeah. I think I commented
and
on the video. Yeah, yeah,
I knew when I made the video it was going to get hate. Like I had your good comment, and then there was a lot of other hate comments
yeah,
about it because I think a lot of Houston fans don't want Westbrook back in Houston. But one of the guys I did mention, I don't know if you watched the whole video, but I did mention in the video that I didn't know if Westbrook would return to Houston because he requested a trade. Someone was like arguing Westbrook didn't request a trade. I mean, the Harden forced him out, so I mean it was
mm-hmm.
stupid. But I mean, he did request a trade though. But
Yep,
I mean, so you got from Harden and Westbrook requesting out, not Harden wouldn't. I mean, it's weird. Harden wouldn't. Harden requested a trade because Westbrook requested a trade.
yeah,
Anybody would know that. But and then he deals with a bad team.
yep,
And he deals with PJ Tucker being out, and then a
yep.
bunch of injuries. I mean, I can't remember one game where there was the
Not
same
not
starting
one
lineup.
single injury. Yep, yep,
There was no games that they had the same starting lineup.
yep,
Maybe a couple, but I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was such a weird season. I mean, I would make videos and I would say just release John Wall and Eric Gordon.
yep,
Screw it. But I mean, now I wouldn't release either one of them. But or I
yep.
said buyout, whatever.
Shout
But
out to Steelers Talk with a $2 hollow. Go ahead, my guy.
he's dealt through a lot,
Yep,
and I just think like some of his coaching decisions. I don't. I'm not going to make a prediction right now if this is his last year in Houston. But if they can finish the season right and make some good trades at the trade deadline, I would say he's probably looking at his third year in Houston.
yep. I mean,
And
again,
also I think Houston
yeah,
is a playoff threat next season.
yeah.
Not a playoff threat, but a playing threat.
Yeah, everything you said, man. I touched on that last year doing, James Harden shenanigans. Basically, his attitude last year was off the mark, disrespecting.
And then you got
Yeah,
Oladipo too.
yeah, Oladipo. I didn't think he wanted to play. I count at least two good games for Ola, three good games if you count the OKC blowout at that point of time with Oladipo. I counted his first game with the Bulls, the OKC blowout where everybody had pretty much a good game in that, and then the second OKC game. And if you want to count Brooklyn in, you can count that too. But we already knew Oladipo wasn't going to stay here. We already knew he didn't want to play here because he didn't look motivated to play here at all. Steven Silas already walked into something in a bad situation. Like you said, we were 11-11. Christian Wood gets hurt at Memphis, and after that, we lose 20 in a row. And after that, we didn't have a consistent starting lineup with the same lineup after that. That's what pretty much with Christian Wood pretty much got hurt, and John Wall kept getting hurt. That was the season pretty much for because if you look at that, we were 11-11. We was eight. We was in the AC. We was in the playing game. We was in the playing tournament at that point of time of that season.
I mean, but will
Uh,
the Rockets have kept it up? I don't know. I don't think
yep,
so.
yep. I don't. I
If
believe.
healthy, I don't think the Rockets would have kept it up. And then
Yep,
if you think of yourself, if you think, hey, the Rockets, they should be in if they were healthy, they should be in the playing game. And you fast forward to next season, you don't have Jalen Green on your roster.
yep. I like again. I think we was gonna see some improvement though. We was gonna have more wins than 17 if we was healthy. We wouldn't
So
have
what
had
I say,
17 victories at all.
so what I say is like, I mean, so I forgot to mention this in my video, but I did say yes. Right, I'm going to say this now, but I don't like the Rockets getting a top four pick this year. I know that sounds
Mhm.
stupid as a Rockets fan, but I'd rather want the Rockets. I mean, right now from 15, where the Rockets are, and this sounds so stupid to say, but the Rockets are in it. And it's so stupid to say when the Rockets are the 15th seed, but
Yeah.
if you look from
Yep. Yeah, you lied.
if you look from 15 to 10, you've got like OKC, who if the Rockets would have won last night, they would have passed OKC and be 14.
Yep.
And then you got New Orleans, they'll fall apart. Zion's not coming back. You got
Yep.
Portland, who even if they don't
It was
make any
just a
moves at the
mess.
trade
Just a
deadline,
mess. Period.
they're
Yep.
done.
Yep.
And then
He
you
just
got
messed
LA
up.
Clippers. There are rumors about like not trading, but like tanking like the Warriors did a couple years ago, and then coming back stronger the next year. And then you got Minnesota, who will fall apart too. And
Mm-hmm.
then you got Sacramento. I just mentioned like 6 teams there. Then you're
Yep.
sitting there at the 10 and 9 seed. So,
Sacramento for the trade for the trade most of their players in the trade deadline. Harrison
and I
Barnes
don't
and
think they're
Buddy
going to
Hill,
get
they're not going to be on the
Simmons.
team after the trade deadline. They're not
If
going to
I
be
was
on the team.
Sacramento, I'd rather get Sabonis than
Yeah,
Simmons.
they're not going to. That team is not going to be together
But I
after the
don't I
trade
don't think
deadline.
the Pacers are gonna trade trade Sabonis to Sacramento unless they get Darian Fox, and I don't think Sacramento's gonna trade Fox.
If you had to guess, what would you think? What would be the obvious trade for them if you
For
had to
Sacramento,
actually? Yeah, Sacramento. Would you say no for
I was just asking for Sacramento.
yeah like for Sabonis? I mean, if you had to guess, do you think the Pacers will even? What I know he's on the trade block. I know they're gonna get ready to trade everybody. What would you do? What would you do with him? What would you trade him to if you had to guess? What would be an ideal fit for him? Like,
I mean, a couple options for Sabonis. I know I would like him on Dallas, but that's just my opinion. Um,
yeah,
Sacramento, I don't think he'd be bad. I think Portland's an option, but I don't like him on Portland. Maybe he
yeah.
tries to continue his father's legacy. Is his dad? Did his dad pass away? I don't know. I think his
No, no,
dad's.
no. You think his dad passed away?
I don't remember.
I don't. Yeah.
I think that was just Bobo's dad, Manute.
Okay.
But I think he maybe would want to continue his father's legacy. But I don't. I want him. I think he wants to win. I'm not saying he wants to win a championship, but I think he wants to be in the playoffs. Like some of these guys at the deadline, there's guys that want to win a championship. There's guys that just want to be in the playoffs. There's guys that want to be on a contender team. And then, excuse me for my language, but then there's a
No,
couple
you
guys
good.
who gets traded who just
You
don't give a
good.
shit. So,
Yeah, you
I
good.
mean,
You good. You good.
but that's just my thought. But I think Sabonis wants to be on a playoff team, and I don't know if Sacramento's that, but I know Dallas is. So,
Yeah, I think Dallas is
I
definitely
mean,
a playoff team.
if the Kings can trade for Sabonis without including Fox in the deal, they're a playoff team.
Yep, yep. My
But
boy Wilson is in the chat. Jeremy, J Taco. What's good, y'all, man? Make sure y'all hit that pin comment at the top. That is my Houston, my boy Houston Sports Talk, man. We talking some Houston sports before the playoff games today. So for I be having a really busy day with the network and stuff. So I am making some time for a couple of hours or two talking to my boy Houston Sports Talk. His link is at the top. The pin comment. Make sure y'all hit him up, man. Make great content over there. So about Eric Gordon and Christian Wood, I know, like I said, I would consider trading Christian Wood. We know Eric Gordon is going to get dealt at the trading deadline. So again, what you think, man? Well, I know Eric Gordon is going to be gone for sure. Do you think Christian Wood will be something we're going to deal at the trade deadline? Do you see it actually?
I do, but I don't know where. Eric Gordon, I have a more specific idea where. I mean, I I said this in a video a couple days ago, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of trading Eric Gordon to Cleveland for Ricky Rubio and an unprotected
I don't
first
like
round
that
pick.
either.
I mean, yes, is he under contract for the next 2 seasons and we can just trade him for the off season? And yes, I don't know if that's Cleveland's first round pick this year and it's unprotected. It could be like a
Mm-hmm.
top 10. Well, no, because Cleveland's winning. It's going to be like 20, 15 pick. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think Eric Gordon, after everything, and then you look to the off season. I don't know what the Rockets can get for Rubio if they trade him because he's not staying long term. He's never going to put on a Rockets uniform
Yep.
because he's out for the season with the ACL injury. I would do a Rockets Cleveland trade, but it doesn't have to do with Ricky Rubio at all.
Yeah.
I'd rather the Rockets just go get. I don't know if Cleveland does this. They probably don't, but I like the Rockets to get Boyd Marketing and Dylan Windler from the Cavs. I don't think it happens, and you can't get an unprotected first round pick. Maybe you can get a protected first round pick, but that's all you're gonna
Yep.
get. But I'd rather
Said.
have two. I'd rather have two really good young players and a protected first round pick than
Mm-hmm.
a unprotected first round pick and a player who you're never going to see a uniform and you're probably not going to get much value back in return. So
Yeah, I mean, just getting the first round pick actually will be a win for me. If you can get it protected, it'll just be a win for me. I mean, he's going to a playoff team or with a young team so far. Just getting the first round, protected pick from Cleveland will be fine with me. That's the problem with with that deal. I don't like Ricky Rubio in the deal because he has the ACL injury. He said the Rockets should trade for from Jeremy Grant. He's not going to want to play on the losing squad. How many people is going to want to plan to lose a squad? So I don't think Jeremy
not
Grant will be
anymore.
coming to Rockets. I don't think anybody will.
I
Yeah,
see Russell Westbrook wanting to play more in Houston than Jeremy
yeah,
Grant.
yeah. So because he wants to be, he Russell Westbrook wants to be the man. He wants to have the ball in his hands a lot. So he doesn't have the opportunities to
Selfish.
do that right now.
He's a little
Selfish,
selfish.
yeah.
I don't know why, and that's why LA is not working out.
Yep. So I mean, you got to be. We want to. You got to expect Jeremy Grant want to be a part of a winning team. He doesn't want to be a part of a rebuilding team like Houston again. Like Houston, that's just like being in Detroit. Even though we better than Detroit, though we're a little bit better than Detroit. So again, man, how
I
about
mean, but
go ahead?
when he went to Detroit, wait, he signed there. Yeah, he signed there. But I
Mhm.
mean, I would say they were, even though they didn't have Kate when he went there, I would say they were in a better mindset than they were before. But I don't know because they had Blake Griffin, and they weren't. I mean, Blake Griffin wasn't looked as washed yet before that
Mhm.
season started. People still thought he was a, I don't know about superstar, but people thought people still thought Blake Griffin was an all star caliber player, and I don't think they had Drummond at the time where Grant signed them. But they had a decent team where, I mean, to the point, I'm not saying they would have made the playoffs, but I don't know. But
Yeah.
but now, if you look at Pistons, Rockets, who's better? Like now, I'd say the
Yep.
Rockets are better. But
Yeah. Rockets are
and
definitely better now.
I
Yep.
mean, the Rockets were just a falling apart mess when they got rid of Russ, and I mean,
James Harden, obviously they were the follow apart, man. Soon James Harden asked for a trade. I mean, we definitely knew what was gonna go down, especially Russell Westbrook. We all knew it was gonna go down, but again, man, and shout out to everybody that's in the chat
I got a
today.
question for you.
Go ahead.
You know
Go
when
ahead.
like like I don't know. This usually only happens in movies, but people do it as a pranks too. You know when people like act like they act like they're pregnant, and there's just
Yeah,
like these little they're like these little fake belly things.
yeah.
How much you want to bet James Harden bought one of those and put it on his stomach
He
so he looked
probably
like he?
did. I heard about that. He probably did. I heard about that. I did hear
I mean,
about
it's
that
just weird.
actually.
I mean, like, could I believe that he went into his restaurant and bought like 20 burgers and then ate them all so he looked fat?
Yep.
Yeah, but then the fact that he goes to Brooklyn the next day and then looks skinny as hell is
And
just
looks
not
skinny
making
as hell.
sense.
Looks looks in shape as hell. I don't know, man. It may be them honey buns that he had for little baby's party. It may be those. He made and ate some of those too as well. Because I mean, hey, I mean, it was
I know
just an
you live.
absolute mess.
I know you live in H Town. Have you ever been to Harden's West restaurant?
Nah, I never been in hardest restaurant. I never been in hardest restaurant
Deshaun's or
before.
no?
Huh?
You know Deshaun has a restaurant too, right?
Nuh-uh. I ain't even know that.
I didn't. I'm not going in there.
So
I'm gonna
throughout
say
the
I need to talk to the owner.
Yep. Throughout the whole years, man, about you with you being a Houston fan, man. So again, do you actually when James Harden was here, how many series actually do you actually blame on James Harden, or was it the
Playoff
team?
series.
Yeah, playoff series. All the years we've been to the playoffs, we've been to the
Oh,
playoffs a lot of years with James Harden. We never missed the playoffs actually with them when we had them. We never missed the playoffs. Not one year.
okay. So I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go back and my
Mm-hmm.
first playoff series. The first playoffs I ever started to watch for the Rockets was 16-17. They beat the Thunder in the first round and then played the Spurs in
Yeah.
the second round. And I completely blame Harden for that loss. I mean, they were sitting there down 3-2 with no Kawhi Leonard. A bunch of these young fuckers we didn't know who they were. I mean, now if you look from now, like Dejounte Murray
Jonathan
or some
Simmons, all of those
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, if you look at some of those, I don't know about Jonathan Simmons because nobody's heard from him in the last 3 years. Maybe
Yep.
someone needs to go check and see if he's doing okay. Um, but I mean, some of those guys like Brent Forbes and then Dejounte Murray, Tarek White. Nobody knew who those fuckers were. I mean, watching
Yep.
this. like why these guys on ESPN? Why are they on the Spurs? But now they've turned into these great players. I know Brent Forbes not on the Spurs anymore. Actually, just got traded to Denver.
Trade to Denver. Yep, that would be a good help for
I
Denver.
don't know if he played last. Did he play last night for Denver?
No, I don't. I don't. Let me see. I don't know if he actually played
I
last
know
night.
Gomez played for the Spurs last night,
Yeah, I don't know if he actually
but
played
he
for
was more
Denver.
trash than a trash can. But I
Oh
think
my
Brent Forbes
goodness.
is really good on the Nuggets. I think
Yeah, I
he's
think
good.
he was good. Well, he was great against us for a half. For a half, for
But
goddamn.
I mean like I, I mean that series you're down 3-2. Great game six opportunity in Houston. That crowd was going to be fire, and Harden just stunk it up. He scored 10 points. That was his chance. I mean, he could have dropped 40 or 50, and then after the game, I mean, this is my first experience with Stephen A. Smith. I remember after the game, they cut it straight to Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt, and it's Stephen A. Smith screaming, "Who drugged James Harden?" And I'm not saying anybody drugged James Harden, but
Yeah,
I mean, so, but I mean, he scored like 10 points. It was awful. I
yeah,
mean,
it was terrible.
and then it made the team worse. I mean, Sam Decker had more points than James Harden, and I don't think anybody's heard from besides when he was on the Cavs roster, and or what? No, the Raptors roster in preseason. Nobody
Mhm.
has heard from him before that. Nobody even knows who that guy is. I mean, he scored. I think he scored like 12. Harden scored 10, and then going back to the next year when they lost to Golden State, I don't really blame Harden. I think he played his heart out in that series. I'm not going to say I blame Chris Paul. I just blame his injury. I mean,
Yeah,
I was actually talking to my dad about this. I got this like, I don't know. I went to a Rockets game once and I got this like Chris Paul souvenir and I wanted to put it up on my wall last night. And my father like will freak out like, why do you want to put Russell Westbrook or James or not Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul stuff like up when like they with like all the disaster. And I say I don't even blame Chris. I, Chris Paul did a great job for Houston. He changed the chemistry. He changed the team. And
yep,
if he would have not gotten hurt, the Rockets would have won the championship that year.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
I
believe they would
mean,
have definitely won that year.
um, but I mean, just the Chris Paul. I mean, if you look back from games 1 through 5 and the way they played, they looked like a super. I don't know what I'm going to say super team, but something near. But then you look at Game 6 and Game 7. I mean, they look like they do now. I
Yep,
mean, but I mean, so and then I go back to next year. They lost to the Warriors in 18-19. I blame the whole team to be totally honest.
yeah,
They had the advantage that the Warriors had in 17-18 with Durant being out. I will say Curry came into Houston in that Game 6
yeah,
and completely blew it up. I mean, the last couple of years, all their eliminations. I mean, two of those chances in 16-17 against the Spurs and 18-19 against the Warriors. You had a Game 6 opportunity at home
yeah,
with Kawhi Leonard on the Spurs and Kevin Durant on the Warriors. Their best players being out, and the Rockets had an advantage, and they could not take care of it. And then
yep.
next year was they lost to the Lakers, and I'm not gonna even talk about that one.
Oh shit, that was atrocity. But go back. I'm gonna go back to the year that we
Actually, I'm
actually.
just gonna blame Mike D'Antoni for trading for
Yep,
Capella.
yep. I was gonna go back to the year that we lost against the last year with Chris Paul. I mean, we were up in the fourth quarter, going into in Golden State in Game 5, 2-2, where Kevin Durant went out. This was the Rockets' chance, and I said to myself, if the Rockets are up right now. If the Rockets don't win this game, we're not winning the Game 6. So with Kevin Durant out, you definitely have a legit chance of making it to the Western Conference Finals and winning again and going to the championship again and possibly playing Toronto. I don't know if we'd have beat Toronto that year or not. Toronto was hot with Kawhi Leonard, but
I say
again,
they would have lost in the finals.
yeah, yeah, they probably
I
would
think
have.
Portland could have even beat them too.
You talking about Toronto?
No, because remember they were in the second round, and then if they would have won that
Oh, that's
series,
the
they would
year
have played
Portland
Portland.
made it to the Western Conference, right?
Yeah, I mean they
Yeah,
probably would have swept Portland, but I mean
yeah,
I
yeah,
think Portland would have done way better against Houston than they did against Golden State. But
yeah. I mean, and then you gotta know Curry is hot in that fourth quarter. He gets hot in the fourth quarter, and after that, it was a done deal. So I knew he wasn't winning game six. But Curry had no points and going into halftime, and that is weird. He have no points. All of his points come in the second half. All 30 points
scored like
come
32.
in the second half. In the second
Actually, most
half.
of it was in the fourth quarter.
Yes. All 30
I think
points
he
come in the
scored like
second half.
17 or 20 in the fourth.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Then the bad luck injury, like you said, the bad luck injury. Can't really blame nobody on that. But game seven, you
And then
cannot
the
miss
same thing
28 straight
happened to
shots.
us last night.
Yep. 28 straight shots. In game seven, you missed 28 straight wide open shots. PJ Tucker, Ariza couldn't make a jump shot, couldn't make a jump shot. Nobody could not make a jump shot in that game seven when
I
Chris
got a
Paul was
theory.
hurt. Go
I got a
ahead.
theory that Curry's just like screwing his shots up in the first half, and then like getting automatically on fire in the second half just to fuck with us, Houston fans
Oh my
and the
goodness.
Rockets. Probably
He be
is.
trolling us. I believe Curry be trolling us. I believe. I'm starting to believe Curry be trolling us. He play like shit in the first. Every time you notice that when he play against us, he play like shit in the first half. Then all of a sudden he just wake up in the second half. A light switch came on. Shout out to Tina for that sub. Shout out to you for that sub right there. So again, we had some good years, man. Give me your favorite Rocket moment. Give me your favorite Rocket moment, favorite game
Oh
if
man.
really have any of when since you start watching the Rockets. Favorite Rocket moment, best win that you think that the Rockets that you saw from the Rockets.
I mean, there's been a lot, but I'm gonna take it to the point of like a game I was at and like a couple of my favorites. And you said win, so I can't talk about that one, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll say one of them was I was at a Lakers game in 18-19. The Rockets played like shit in the first half. Chris Paul was injured. And in the second half, they just caught fire. Luke Walton got ejected, and then and I was sitting on the floor too.
Yeah.
But and then Eric Gordon. It was the Rockets came back, and then it was a weird game. They came back, and then they fell apart, and then they started to come back, and the Lakers. Then it's always weird at a Rockets game, and they're losing. You'll feel like they're about to come back, and then this boom. Then
Mm-hmm.
the next team attacks, and then it feels like it's over. But this time, I mean, they came back, they hit a couple shots, and then it was like 117, 120, and then Gordon like hit like almost a half court shot to send the game to overtime, and then they won it overtime. So
Yep.
I guess. But my favorite Rockets memory was I went to. I know this was a loss. I don't know. It was still a great memory. But I went
Yeah.
to the a playoff game against the Jazz, 17-18, game two, and the Rockets lost. They played like
Yeah. I
crap.
remember that. Yeah.
But the cool thing is I mean I sat really close, and then uh, I don't know if you know who. I know you probably know who Tillman Fertitta is, of
Yeah.
course.
Definitely. Definitely.
But I
Yeah.
don't know if you know who his. Well, it's now ex, but ex-wife is Paige Fertitta. You probably know her, um, but so I mean, I was at the game with my mom, and then she knew Paige. That's Talman's ex-wife, well
Mm-hmm.
then wife, and she took us through the back, and I got to meet the players. I met Chris Paul, um, and then there was also like a lot of other special people at the game. So I met like D Hop, I met Hakeem, and it was like all really cool. But
Yeah.
and then I met a couple other players. One of the best moments is, and this shows how much Gerald Green has pride to Houston fans and Houston, is Gerald Green uh, was coming through the tunnel, ready to go to his car, get back home after a playoff loss. And I don't know why anybody. if I was on the Rockets, I mean, if a young kid was sitting right there waiting for like a picture or autograph, I would obviously go there after a loss. But like,
Yeah,
if I couldn't tell and I was just all like, he was on the phone and it looked like he was talking to his agent as well, like
yeah,
for something important to business, and he saw me like waiting there, like, and he knew what I was gonna ask him, and right, he was like coming so close to us, and he said, hey, I'm gonna have to call you right back, and then he was like, what's up, man, and then he was really cool. Um, but to this moment, one of my this is a weird player to hate, but one of my most hated players in the NBA is Royce O'Neal.
Oh shit! Don't get me started up on this goddamn dude.
You don't like him either?
Hell no. What man? Come on, man. He never played for us. He never really actually played like that for us, man. That was just. I don't like that dude, man. I hate him.
Royce O'Neal, like,
Well, oh, you talking about Royce O'Neal? I thought. Which one? You talking about Utah?
yeah, you thought I was
Yeah.
talking about
Oh, my
Jackson.
bad. My bad. My bad. I thought you talking about the O'Neal that we had. You talking about Royce? That's Royce. White. What the hell? My bad. My bad. We talking about yeah.
I thought you were talking about Shaq.
No,
Oh
no, no,
no,
no.
Shaq.
What's on there? Yeah, I know you talking about. You talking about the Utah Jazz forward. Yeah,
You like him or no?
yeah. I think he's okay. I think he's okay player. He's not
What
great.
I'm about to tell you, you're not gonna like him pretty much.
Go ahead.
So, okay, this don't make fun of me or it's funny, but okay. So sometimes it's hard to recognize NBA players sometimes, and with
Yeah,
Utah players, like if I would recognize a Rockets player, I'm not
yeah,
gonna see Gerald Grant and call him James Harden, but uh, I'm not gonna recognize all Utah players. I should recognize most of them, but
yeah.
Royce O'Neal walked by through the tunnel. He looked like he was in a bad mood. I mean, if I won a game two playoff series with my team sucks against the number one team in the Western Conference, I'd be happy. But I don't know why he's such a bad mood. It might be what have I said, but I thought he was Derek Favors, and I called him Derek Favors,
Yeah.
and he said, "My name's Royce O'Neal, you dumb bitch," and then he walked off.
Damn! Oh my goodness, he did it like that.
I guess he doesn't like Rockets fans. I don't know what they did to him. I don't know.
Wow, that's tough. Wow, that's tough. They only won one game that series too, huh? We won the rest of the games, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Rockets controlled game one, and then yeah, they basically
Oh,
won.
so that was the year that we were in the first seed, right? Okay, yeah, yeah. So we beat them all three games. We beat them after we lost the game two. We beat them. We beat them two times in Utah. Yeah, we beat them in five. We definitely got them out of there in five. Definitely beat them in five. Then I remember that. I believe we beat them twice in five though. Too though. The last 2 years that we played them. I think the next year did we play them the very
Yeah,
next year too and beat them in the first round.
they won the first three games, and then they choked in game four for a sweep. But
Yeah.
I, I can't remember if there's been one time through my Rockets playoff memories that the Rockets have gotten a sweep. I don't think there has been. I'm trying to
I don't think we
think.
swept anybody really.
I mean, 18, 19. No, and
No,
then
we never swept anybody. No, as I know, I don't think the Rice swept anybody.
yeah, I don't think they did.
No, we never
Yeah,
swept. I don't think, as long as I've been seeing the Rockets play, I don't think we never swept anybody in the
I
playoffs. I
mean,
don't
you
remember.
don't have to get a sweep as long as you get a
Yeah,
playoff one. I mean, I don't really particularly like game sevens or game sixes because they
yeah,
bring me so much nerve. But I'll take a game five or game six win.
yeah. Yeah, as long as I've been a Rockets fan, I don't think no, we really haven't swept anybody yet. So, uh, yeah, man.
Their
Mhm.
closest chance was against Utah in 18, 19, and they were up 3-0, and then they lost, and then they went back to Houston and won.
Yep, yep. They easily could have swept Minnesota as well. They easily could have swept them that year too. We did have Clint Capella, I believe that factor. Yeah, because we
I don't
played.
know about that because that game four they played like really bad, really they were shit. But that
Yeah,
Utah game, like they were really good 3 quarters, and then fourth quarter they lost. But
yeah. I mean, yeah, that Minnesota series. Well, yeah, yeah, that game three. I believe it was that game three or game four that we came out. That we came out. I think yeah, we was down from the jump in that Minnesota
oh
series. We
yeah,
was
that was
down.
like game three. Yeah,
Game
it was
three, yeah,
game
we was
three they
just down
lost.
from the
I mean,
jump.
so
We were just
there was no chance to sweep them,
yeah,
anyways.
yeah. It was game three. We were down. We was actually down from the jump in that game, and then we came back to one game four, and then we just beat them up in five. We just got. That's the year that Clint Capella outplayed Karl Anthony Towns in the playoffs. He outplayed him actually in the playoffs. Karl Anthony Towns did not have a great series, and Minnesota wasn't even supposed to be an AC. They lost. They had that AC because of Jimmy Butler was hurt pretty much the whole year. He was hurt pretty much in that second half of the season. That's why they end up even getting the AC and playing playing on. So again, we know we gonna get past. We gonna shift. I know you said you want to shift to some Astros baseball. So
Not much to
um,
talk about, but let's do it.
yeah, not much to talk about because
This damn
we
lockout gonna
being
end.
the damn lockout, but we gonna go back. We gonna go back, and I know we going. We everybody still when you bring up the Astros, you bring up the cheating scandal, but you bring up that when every time you bring up the Astros, that's just how people when you tell people, "Oh, this team is still legit. This team is legit," but you're gonna bring up the cheating scandal still, but go back to after that World Series, again, getting Dusty Baker and go back to last year, man. What was the I know you want we can say no Lance McCullers was out in the World Series, probably made a difference in that World Series. I don't know if it would, I don't know if he did, but what did you see last
I
year?
think the Braves still would have won, but
Yeah.
I mean they're on fire. But yeah, what's up?
So what was So give me some thoughts on last year. How would you feel about the Astros last year making it to the World Series, uh being even though we did struggle against 500 teams, we did get swept by Baltimore. Under 500 team, we did get beat by Baltimore in a series. We got beat by a lot of 500 under 500 teams in a series. It was so pitiful. But we still managed to make it. So what did you think about last year? What would you think on our road to the World Series? What you think about it?
Season, I would say there was a lot of disappointing moments for the offense and pitching, but then regular season there was a lot of there would be times when the offense was on fire, and then there'd be times when the offense would be completely shit. I mean, I remember back to one of the games. I think it was against the Mariners,
Mm-hmm.
but the Astros played the Mariners, and it was so bad. And I think they had a couple injuries where it's to the point where Maldonado had to play at first base, and it was really hard to make a post game about that game. And what I titled it was the Astros are embarrassing.
Yeah. I'll be reading your titles at time. I'll be like, man, this boy got some great. This boy just make some good titles, man. I'm saying, man, it got so bad. I really after we swept Baltimore in Camden Yard, then we had them the very next series, and we get swept 4 games by Baltimore. I was like, man, this don't look so good. This don't look
Oh, I
really
made
too
an
good.
angry video about it.
Yeah, we got swept at home. 4 straight games against Baltimore. We
I
was
think it was
swept.
three.
Well,
I think
was
it
it
was
a
three.
3 game or a four
It
game
was three.
series?
Oh,
We
they would
got
have not
swept.
lost. They would have not lost. If they lost 4 games in a series against Baltimore, number
Mm-hmm.
one, I don't know if Dusty Baker would be back. And number two, like I don't mean like back for the next season. I don't know if Dusty Baker would be back for the next series.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Astros just wouldn't lose four in a row to the Mariners. I mean, it probably just because I say that it would happen, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would lose four in a row. But it was three. And, yeah, I mean, the offense was disappointing, and that last game they could have won. And then the ninth inning, they scored a couple runs, and then they had a lot of men on in scoring position. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Altuve came on and crushed one, and it could have been gone, but I mean, it
Yeah.
was caught. And then the Astros scored a run from a sac fly, and then there was like 2 outs, and the Astros didn't look back.
Yeah. Again, throughout the season we had last year, you wouldn't think we'll be a World Series team at that moment, but you knew, like, again, man, you just knew this team had it. Also had it, even though the season didn't turn out the way It should have had been, but we still end up making it to the World Series. That's due to credible of Tucker, Kyle Tucker, Jordan Alvarez. We see them, but I know we can both agree. I don't know if we're gonna see Carlos Correa as an Astro this year. Can you? How would you evaluate that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm supposed to say this. And how much people are on the live right now?
We got three.
All right. Well, I'm about to say something where it, it's a lot of it's like it's I'm gonna confirm something. I could be your Woj for a minute
Mm-hmm.
here, and this is coming from Carlos Correa, and
Yeah.
the people that shout aren't gonna believe me, but I have a godmother who recently is new neighbors with Carlos Correa,
Okay.
and well, like they moved in, Correa, his wife, and now I don't know what the
Yeah.
baby's. I don't know what he named it. Oh God, I'm gonna be mad when I remember it. But um, so basically, they've gotten close, and now Correa's apparently Correa's brought up in conversations with them or with her that about like the she's not a big baseball fan. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't. I don't think she knew that he was a free agent, so she's not going to ask about it. And it'd be really weird if like you were neighbors with a guy and you're starting. If you're
Yeah.
like I don't know. The reason they've gotten so close is because like she's not like hanging out with him because he's rich or he's
Yeah.
plays baseball. I mean, so but yeah, but anyways, he said before like he wants to stay here. He like wants to find every reason to stay in Houston. Like he loves this new neighborhood he's in, and at first he leased the house and now he bought it. But um, he said if I do leave, I'm like this is gonna be my house when I come to visit. But he said he wanted to go to New York,
Okay.
but he said he also wanted to go to Chicago. I think that
Okay.
means the Cubs. But I mean, so right now, off of when I hear that, um, I think there's only three candidates to sign Carlos Correa, and I think that's the Cubs, the
Houston.
Yankees, and the Astros.
Yeah. Okay.
So you
Okay.
look at two teams in the Cubs and the Yankees where he wants to go, and then the Astros where he really wants to stay.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to find it. If he leaves, I think it's gonna really. I think it might break up because he wants to find every reason to stay. Not like he's not even finding reasons for baseball. He's finding reason for like neighborhoods or the city. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he's really thinking about the baseball team. I think he's thinking about the city.
Yeah. Yeah. So his decision based on if he does to stay, you saying basically because it's basically the city here in Houston, not the team.
No, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I think like the reasons he said to this person I know. I think I think I think that what he said is about the city. I don't think he like. I'm not saying he doesn't care about. Of course, he cares about the team,
Yeah. I
but
know. Yeah. Of
I
course.
mean, he's probably has reasons to stay because of the team. But I mean, the reasons he just said were because of the city. But I mean, uh, I don't know. I don't even know if I want him to come back. To be totally honest, I mean, I think the
Okay.
Astros could. I mean, I think the Astros. I mean, I think this is weird to say, but I think it's too much offense from time to time.
Yeah. See that look, that's why I think if we lose Correa, we still can be a good baseball team. I think we still can be a very good baseball team. Even if we lose Carlos Correa, we lost George Springer and we still was a World Series team. So it's just to manage like who do you fill in that shortstop hole without him if he does leave? I think the Astros can
Trevor
find
Story.
Trevor Story. Okay, so you think we can pull off a Trevor Story deal?
I
Get
don't
him.
know if we can, but I
Mhm.
think we can. I don't know
Okay.
where else he would go at this point, but I mean that's really the last option. It's
Yep.
either that or it's what's that? Jeremy Pena. It's either that or it's Jeremy Pena and Lesmes Diaz sharing that role.
Yeah, okay.
Another option I'd look to is signing. What's their baseman's guy? What's the guy's name? Uh, Chris. No, 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 no. He's on the Cubs.
Uh, he played
Uh,
shortstop.
he plays third. Oh crap.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, Chris Bryant. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah,
I don't
Chris
know.
Bryant.
Chris Bryant. So I know it's weird to sign a third baseman when you have Bregman, but I was thinking of the idea of if you can't pull out a Trevor Story signing, I would think of maybe signing um, Chris Bryant and then moving Bregman to shortstop where
Yeah,
he's
you can.
familiar with playing.
Bretman
And then
is versatile. Versatile. Bretman can play. Bretman can play. Can play shortstop. He can actually
and
do
then
it.
and then you don't have to use Diaz as a starter. I like him
Yeah,
more as a I like Diaz more as a utility
yeah.
than a
It's probably a DH or probably a DH or something like that. If you can,
no, not really, because you got Jordan at DH. I mean, I just
yeah,
think Diaz is a guy that whenever an infield guy needs a rest, Diaz is starting. Whenever there's an infield guy who's on the injured reserve, he's starting. And if Diaz is a starter, who is that
hmm,
guy that comes in there as a utility player if Diaz is starting? Diaz can't do two things at a time. So
yeah,
something I was looking at was signing Chris Taylor, but then he re-signed with the
yeah. I was looking at that too.
yeah, because then he signed with the re-signed with the
Yeah, he signed,
Dodgers.
re-signed back.
I
Yeah,
mean, he could have played center field until Jake Myers came back. He could have done everything for us. But
yeah.
I mean, I don't
Jake
really blame
Myers
him
was
for
playing
coming
some good
here.
baseball. He was
I mean,
actually good.
even if the Astros tried to sign Taylor, I mean, he would have never came here because of the cheating scandal. But
Yeah.
I
Shout
mean,
out to
I
that
don't
follow by
I don't
Jay.
think anybody on the Dodgers would come here. I mean, to be totally honest.
You don't think
I
nobody on the
mean,
Dodgers will come here just because of that, cheating scandal?
the only Dodger that's came in here since the scandals, Pedro Baez, and he probably doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and I don't even know if he's going to be staying for longer.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, we added a couple additions in Jake Myers. I thought that was playing well. That was playing well before he got
Who
hurt
would you
against the
rather,
White
Jake
Sox.
Myers or Jose Siri?
They both was good, man. That's tough. They both was good. They both
And
was
then you
good.
throw in Chaz.
Huh?
Then you throw in Chas McCormick.
They both was good though. I would rather you know what? Chas McCormick has more power, but Jake
He's
Myers
not a
has
good center
power.
fielder.
I know he's not a center fielder, but he can play center field. You can put him out there. You can put him out there because he does got the closing speed. And by logic, if it's a sprint, he's the fastest Astro. He's the fastest Astro. If it's a sprint straight 100 yards, he is the fastest Astro. So you can use him. He has power and speed. Where you got Jake Myers, he more contact, and he has power as well. All three of those guys got power, man. Got power. So that would be a tough decision. Who would you really put out there? Because let's be real, the reason why Miles Straw was traded was because McCormick. That was the reason why Miles Straw was actually traded to Cleveland. But to give
But I think it's
Chas
probably
McCormick
more of
some
Jake
time.
Myers too. I think it's both of
Yeah,
them. Well,
but
actually, no, no, you're probably right
yeah,
because I remember when they traded Straw. I mean, McCormick wasn't even on the major league roster, so yeah, it's
he was
probably
on the
because of
team.
McCormick.
McCormick was
I
very
was a
much
little
on the
upset they
team.
traded Straw. I think Straw got a
Yeah,
lot of hate.
yeah, McCormick was very much on the team. He had a good.
I think
Go ahead.
I, I I just I just think Straw. I mean, I think he got a lot of hate. I didn't like sometimes how he hit the ball, but I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
given number one, that's probably one of the reasons he's not hitting as well is because all the Astros fans. You have to support your players, and he's fast as hell. He's a good outfielder, and even though he can't hit a home run,
Mm-hmm.
he can hit the hell out of the ball. This dude can go out there, have four bats of the game, and get four singles.
Yep.
And with all
Or
the
go
offense
0
we
for
have,
4. He
we
can at
don't
least go
need
0 for
the
4, but hitting the ball though. He can go 0 for 4 just hitting the ball, making contact. He don't strike out like that. Miles Straw
I
rarely
mean,
strike out.
we don't. I mean, we don't need. We don't need. we don't need offense. If we got a guy who can is fast as hell and can play defense. But another
Mm-hmm.
thing I look at is the thing with Maldonado because you got both of them right next to each other in the batting order. You got Straw. It was Straw at 8, Maldonado at 9, and you look at your. Let's say you need some runs on the board, and you're at the end of the game. You're losing. And you're at
Yep.
the bottom of your order. You got Straw, and you got Maldonado, and
Yep.
then Straw starts the inning, and you got Altuve. You got Altuve at 1, looking to be the maybe the last out of the game, and you got Maldonado and Straw stinking that shit up at stinking it up at the end of the game, and then Jose Altuve has to come in pressure with 2 outs, no men
Yep.
on, and then he doesn't do anything, or he gets a single or he gets an out, and either the next guy on Brantley or Altuve gets blamed for losing. But I don't know. But if you got a vice versa, if McCormick or Myers on or 8 and then 9 Maldonado,
Mm-hmm.
one of those guys can get it started, maybe get a single or a double. Maybe Maldonado can make a sacrifice to get one of those guys in second, and then you got 1 out, Altuve, Brantley, and then potentially Bregman on. So I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yep.
I wouldn't mind trading Martin Maldonado this year.
I wouldn't mind doing it either. I want, even though he's a great defensive catcher, he is great as a defensive catcher, but man, he has his days at the plate. So I'll tell you that he has a lot of his days at the plate. And our weakest hitters in our lineup was our catchers. Actually, our weakest.
Well, Jason Castro didn't do that bad at the end of the
Yeah,
season.
he didn't do that bad. He came up with a clutch hit in Boston. He came up with a clutch hit in Boston, but I also think Jason Castro didn't really have the time. Didn't really have to play much of the time like that. He got some time to play, but he didn't have really much of a time. But by far, the catchers was pretty much, the weakest link of the lineup. But it didn't hurt us. It never came back to hurt us. And Maldonado with that big strikeout, throw him out, double play that pretty much put the dagger in the heart on Boston right there. That was a great put out. He threw a missile down at that second base right there on the money, right there. So again, what was the turning point of this Astros season and get into the World Series? What would you think? How did you feel about the pitching staff? How did you actually feel about the pitching staff? Even though it
Number
was
one, I hate
young,
Odorizzi.
you hate older is I can't. Hey, I can't blame you. I ain't gonna blame you. He
Now I
had a
will
bad
say,
shit season though. He
um,
did. He did.
I will say when he first got here and he had a couple starts that were bad, I still believed in him. I thought he could do something. Now I will say that also some of his performance was a fault of Dusty Baker too. He
Mm-hmm.
was never I don't think he really ever passed 6 innings in his out of his starts. And also when you have such a stacked bullpen, I mean, but if you look, I mean, you say you got a stacked bullpen and you need to. I see that right,
Yep.
but then you say, well, we got a stacked bullpen, so Odorizzi's going to only go 5 innings. Then the next night you still got a stacked bullpen, but Valdez is going to go 8. So
Yep.
and it got to the point where I mean, Odorizzi was so frustrated on one of the post games. He came in there and said it was bullshit. I mean, I don't disagree. He was shit, but I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that most of his bad performances were from of Dusty Baker. But I mean, I think that we should
Yep.
just trade him. Also, I think they should probably trade 2 starters, but that's weird.
Yep.
If I had to trade 2 starters, it'd be Odorizzi and your Quiddy, your
And
Giddy.
Urquidy, yeah.
Yeah,
Urquidy,
I
yeah,
mean, you could have traded one, but since Verlander's resigned, um, it's really hard. And then maybe Forrest Woodley might be coming into the majors this year.
yep.
Um, so I mean, you got Verlander, you got McCullers, you got Valdez, um, and who else?
And you
Uh,
got Garcia too. You got Garcia.
you got Garcia,
Garcia
yes, and
pitched very
then
well as a first
Greinke's
one.
gonna be gone.
Yeah,
So you got 4. That's 4, and then you got your Urquidy, and you got and then you got Odorizzi. Is that it? I think that's it.
Yeah,
Is it
I
six?
think that's the start, probably the starting rotation that we had. Yep.
Wait, let me see. A second.
Because I think Urquidy was in that starting rotation. He was
Astros starting
actually in.
pitchers.
He was in the starting rotation. You say you think Garcia's going to be gone?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
think wait, let me see. Wait, Astros pitchers. Okay, so Verlander, Odorizzi, McCullers, um, Valdez. Oh, Javier too. It's five.
Who?
Christian Javier.
He's a starter?
I mean, he wasn't a starter last year. Besides the start of the season, but I think he should be a starter.
Yeah. See, that's the question I was going to ask you. You picked my brain too. I was going to say, the good as he's Christian Javier is as a bullpen guy, and used to be a starter, do you think he should be cracking the starting rotation? And out of those guys, I know you. I will put him in over. I probably will put him in over Rizzy, and switch over Rizzy or whatever. You may
But I
want
don't
to
like
do.
Odorizzi on the bullpen.
You don't like
I
Oda
would say
Rizzy in the
he's a
bullpen?
starter. He's getting traded, and I would
Yeah,
prefer traded.
yeah. I
But I
would prefer
mean,
that too.
so you look at the guys. You got like seven guys, and then plus Sports Whitley, who's on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Verlander's not going anywhere. He just resigned.
McCullough's
McCullers
not
is
going
not
anywhere.
going anywhere.
Those are your top two. Those are your top two.
Garcia is
One and
not
two.
going anywhere.
Yep.
Um,
Brahma. I don't. Do you see Brahma going somewhere? Actually.
I don't want him to, but I could, but I don't want him to. So
Okay.
then Fromber's not going anywhere, and then I don't think Javier's going anywhere either. And so
Okay.
then you got the two other guys, Anoda Rizzi and Urquidy. I'd like to keep Urquidy, but I'd rather like the five other guys I mentioned who are staying there than have
Yep.
Urquidy. I don't know. I think Javier, but the thing is like has ever since I don't know. Is he still a good starting pitcher after Dusty benched him to the bullpen? I don't know.
I like Javi as a starter, man. I think he could be a starter. I think he was good when he was actually a starting pitcher. When he was starting pitcher, he was good in both bullpen and both. Now we did have a great bullpen with Presley at the back of the bullpen, and then you started seeing that other pitcher coming in, Heaney Garcia come in from time to time, give you some
And
good
and
stuff.
I think originally when they put him to the bullpen, I think it was mostly because of how bad the bullpen was.
Okay, okay, okay.
But I mean, when the bullpen got better, I mean, they could have put him back, but I mean, then they were
Yep,
sitting there with that six-man rotation.
yep,
And
yep,
I think the reason they benched him was because Odorizzi was on the way back.
yep, yep.
But I mean, that's Odorizzi ruining more stuff for the Astros.
Mm-hmm. So I mean,
But
again, I know we had one of the best bullpens in the league, especially the second half of the season. We did end up getting Phil Naton from Cleveland, which is I thought he was black. He was strong. He was very strong in in the
very
second half
good.
of the season. He was very good in situations where we needed him. We know Presley. He blew a couple of saves, but other than that, he's Presley. He was an all star this year. He was very good. He was very good for us. I thought.
I thought it
Uh,
was very one of the most hated moments for my Astros last year
mhm.
were when the All Star when they all opted out of the game.
Yep, because how many
And
how
I'm
many all stars did we have? At least seven.
four
We
or
had at least
five.
six,
We had
four or
five.
five, four or
It
five
was
all
like
stars.
five. It
We
was
do
Brantley, Correa,
Brantley, Correa, Altuve,
Presley,
Presley.
and I think
Yep.
Grinke.
Oh,
I think it was Zach Greinke was All Star too. I think,
okay,
and they all
okay.
made bullshit excuses too. Like
Yeah,
Correa like said he wanted to be with his wife who was about to give labor, but his wife didn't have birth until like 5 months later.
yeah,
On the other end, Ryan Presley, his wife was actually giving labor.
yeah. Was
Like
actually giving labor. Yup, yup. So that made choices for that
Altuve
made him.
didn't give a reason. Like I mean, he's like Kershaw's gonna hit me in the head. I don't want to play.
Shit, hey, we had like Michael Brantley end up not going to the All Star game either. I don't believe he end up not
I mean,
going.
why
So
would
we,
he even? Nobody would
yep,
even talk. I mean, Michael Brantley like is one of the most respected players in the Astros
yep,
because no
yep,
one else gives a shit about the rest of them.
yep.
But I mean, I don't know. I thought they were pussies for doing that.
Hmm. I want to see. I wanted to see some of our
I
guys
think they
represent.
should have been fined.
Yup, yup. I agree with you on
Like if
that
a
part.
couple of them opt out for reasons, I mean, I think the only reason you should opt out of an All Star game is if something like an injury or
Hmm.
personal issues. Like Ryan Presley is the only one I excuse for opting out. The rest of them I don't really care.
Yup. It should have been at least four of them competing in that All Star game. It should be at least four of us in that All Star game playing and representing the Houston Astros. Again, like I mean, hey, god damn, man, it was great, impressive season for us. But in the playoff run, did you think we were losing to the White Sox? Did you think we were losing to the White Sox?
No, no
Okay,
way.
okay. So what made the difference in the White Sox series for you? What was the turn? What made the difference in the White Sox series that you thought?
Like I don't really think anything. I mean, nothing. It's just a series to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say like same thing as Joe Burrow said when he won against the Raiders. I didn't think we were gonna lose. It was just a game.
Yep.
But in
Yep.
this sense, for me, it's I think it was just a series. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think.
Well, I didn't think much of it at all because, like I said, I already said like when I was debating with my network, I said we're gonna beat the White Sox in 5 games, and that's exactly how I had it. Because again, you look at it, White Sox had the best pitching staff. They had one of the best pitching staffs all year long, but some of their players come from the Cubs. Come from the Cubs. Dylan Cease, they all played for the Cubs. You definitely had Eloy Jimenez. He was a hitter from the Cubs that they got from the Cubs, and all of those guys, Lynn, all of those guys came from the Cubs. So I really didn't. Like I said again, it was like another series to us. We've been here before. We have more experience, and we still got some heat on our back because the White Sox beat us in the World Series 2005. That's who their World Series actually came against, was us. I think they swept us when they had Paul Konerko and all of those guys. So that was their kryptonite. And what a better way to return the favor, beating them 3-1. And then we owned them during the season too. We did own them during the season. We swept them in a 4 game set. I was watching that whole series. I remember us beating up on Dallas Keuchel. I definitely remember that. And he's declined a whole lot since that Cy Young year. He's declined a whole lot. I don't know what the hell went on with Dallas Keuchel. I don't know what figured him out, who figured him out. But they could not really figure him out in Houston like that. But again,
He was at 1 year and done. I don't
yeah,
think
he
that.
was a 1 year wonder. I'm starting to think that Cy Young year was the 1 year wonder right there.
Fraud.
That was probably a fraudulent year right there. If it wasn't for Justin Verlander that second time, I don't think we'd have won the World Series, to be honest with you. If we didn't have Justin Verlander in 2017 in the throughout that last minute trade deadline, I don't think we'd have won the World Series. I didn't see us winning the World Series with Dallas Keuchel. Not by long shot dead Lance McCullers. I mean, you see, I mean, if I'm wrong, someone tell me. If we didn't have Verlander, would we still won that World Series without Justin Verlander's pitching, without his pitching in that rotation?
I think
If
yeah.
you think we still would have won the World Series?
And this is gonna sound really bad. And remember, I'm an Astros fan, so I can say this. But I don't think it really would have mattered Keuchel Keuchel and Verlander because the Astros were stealing signs. I mean, I think that's why I'm not going to say the Dodgers stole a World Series. I mean, I'm not going to say the Astros stole a World Series, which they kind of did, but I mean, they're great. They were a great team, but they cheated.
Yep,
There was no reason to cheat. I mean,
yep.
that's the thing I don't understand. Like, why are you cheating? Like if I was like a team like the Pirates or the whatever, I would be cheating, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the Astros, there's no reason to be cheating. You got one of the best offenses in MLB. You got Keuchel. You got Verlander. Why would you need to be cheating? And also, I think if they weren't cheating, Dodgers would have beaten the World Series. It sucks to say, but I think that's why they won. They played really good, but it was probably because they were stealing
I
signs
mean,
twice.
people gonna still say this was cheating. We cheated against the Yankees. I think we cheated against the Yankees. I don't think we cheated in the World Series, but you're gonna still say
I
cheating,
think we
yeah.
did. I think we did. Now
I,
that I
I
say
think we
it,
did it in a championship series against the Yankees. We did it. I know for a fact. But the
people
World Series, I
say
don't
that
think we cheated.
people say they cheated in the 2019 World Series too, and oh no, walk off Altuve home run. He was wearing a buzzer. I don't think they did anything in 19.
No, I
Maybe
don't
they
think.
did.
I think that was clean.
Maybe they
We did
did
not
something
cheat
in
in
the
the championship.
season.
Yeah.
They might have done some stuff in the season, but I don't think they did anything
No.
in 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 the playoffs. And I think it sucked that how AJ Hinch got fired.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I was the owner and I was getting and if I was getting fined for $1 million for something that my manager that I've hired to be and I've trusted for the last couple of years, and I was never told about this, uh,
Hmm.
I could have stopped this. I mean, yeah, he tried, but really could have. You're the manager. You're the leader of the team. You could
Yep.
stop it, even though he said I tried to stop it. Like I know Alex Cora was the core leader of it, which you did it in 2018 too, when Alex Cora wasn't even there. So
Yep.
I mean, but basically, I just think that I don't know. I think like if I was fined $1 million, I probably would have punched the guy, to be totally honest. I know I'm like a billionaire or a millionaire, but if I'm getting fined $1 million, I would have thought, are you not gonna even fucking tell me about this? I mean, like, I don't
Hmm.
know. People say that they think Jim Crane was involved, but I don't think he was.
I don't think he was with you. I
If
definitely
if
agree.
he wasn't involved, he would have hired uh, what's his name? They would have hired AJ Hinch back.
Hmm.
So, and then if you compare the Red Sox with Alex Cora, I think they knew. I mean,
Yep.
if they didn't know, like their management didn't know, he would have not been hired back. But
Yep. I
yeah, but
mean,
Jeff Luna, I think he deserved to be fired, but AJ Hinch, I don't think he. But at the same time, remember Jim Crane got fired and fined $1 million.
man, a
I got a
million
question.
dollars.
If you were the owner and you got fined $1 million for something you didn't even know about, and this guy who's the leader of your team for the last couple of years and you trust did not tell you, how would you react?
I would have fired him. I would have got it.
I would have done more than fire him.
I would have fired.
I'd
I
get
would
him
have
out of
done.
the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah. I get him out of the country. I would have made him pay for the damn fine. Motherfucker, you knew about it. You would have paid. You gonna pay for my fine.
Well, I mean,
You
he
gonna
cut
pay
it
for the
because
fine.
he no, he cut it because it was a direct fine to Jim Crane.
Okay. Okay.
It wasn't to the team. It was to Jim Crane. This man's getting fined $1 million for something he didn't even know about.
That's crazy. That's unacceptable. Right there.
And then his team is losing draft picks as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And something that we're actually good at. We're actually good at drafting. But except for the Mark Appel, except Mark Appel, probably the one probably draft pick that didn't really pan out. But all the rest of we actually good at developing players and drafting players actually. But what made that World Series run so beautiful, man, that look at this all the time. We were dealing with the hurricane that year, that 2017 year. That's what made that year so special. And if the Rockets could have pulled off that year would have never this year would have never be forgotten, man. That 2017 year where everybody had to go through the hurricane and stuff out there, nobody really having homes. And I gotta give Gerald Green another. I definitely agree with you 1000%. You touched on a point that Gerald Green is a nice guy, and I think he is. Now he's one of our assistant coaches. Our assistant coaches on the bench. Shout out to Gerald Green. He's
Not
straight out of
anymore.
Houston. He's not no more. I thought I saw him the other day. I thought I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
he's
thought
gone.
okay. But he was picking up people off of the boat. He was picking people off the boat. Pretty much. Pretty much he was picking out people off the boat and saving people for drowning. That's what Gerald Green was doing. And I gotta give respect to Gerald Green. and how this guy is, man. This guy's a great person, man. This guy's a great guy. And when people lives was on the line, Gerald Green was saving them. He was getting the boats. He was putting them there. He was putting them in the boat and stuff. And Gerald Green is an awesome, awesome guy to be around. Awesome personality. He's good. He can be. He was great on winning teams, man. He was great. He contributed on winning teams. It's some definitely hit some big shots for the Houston Rockets when we needed them. Definitely, hey, give a great applause to Gerald Green. And this guy said he was a great guy. He stayed outside. He waited for an autograph. He assumed he picked his brain, but I had to bring up that moment where Gerald Green did all of that, and that really touched me a little bit inside because he was out there helping people. He was out there helping people during the storm and stuff like that. So that memorable year when we had that hurricane and the Astros came through to see them win a World Series, to get a World Series and stuff like that. That was pretty special. Hope that we could have got another one this year. If I don't know if Lance McCullers would have helped. I think probably we still maybe would have lost. We still maybe would have lost. But again, going into this season, we don't know what we got because of the lockout. We know we got Justin Verlander. Um, do you see Justin Verlander being the same this year if we do get back in on track in some baseball? Do you see him still being that pitcher that we
Yeah,
had?
a little bit. I think
Okay,
he'll be at like 70, 80%,
okay,
but I don't know. But going back to Gerald Green,
hmm
now he's not an assistant anymore
okay,
because with all the COVID, um, with all the COVID, uh, like all the players testing positive, like all these veterans like Mario Chalmers and all those other guys are coming back. Joe Green left as an assistant, is in the G League, the Rock. He's still in the Rockets, but he's on the Rockets G League team.
yeah,
But I don't know why you'd go to the Rockets G League team because they're not going to call you up. I mean, I'd love to have Joe Green on the team, but I don't really want it, and I don't think it's going to happen. So
yeah, definitely, 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 definitely. Yeah, man. We're gonna get into some Texans football, man. Like you said yesterday, one of the topics that we was gonna adjust is the firing of David Culley. Was it fair? Was it a raw deal? And what did you think of it when you first hearing the firing of David Culley?
so I was at school when it happened, but when I got home, I get I got an iPad and I get all the alerts from Bleacher Report, ESPN, Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
like from Woj, and I know it's not football, but when I get home after school, I'll look at it after every day what's happened from like 9 to 4 when I get home, and um, but to be totally honest, I was jumping and screaming with excitement. I know I did watch I watched one of your videos, and I think pretty sure you said you were upset with the firing. Like if if um, if Casario, I think you said if Casario,
Nick Casario,
uh,
yeah.
well, I don't remember what he said. He said something if like like David Culley. Well, I don't remember what he said, but I remember you said like if you think this about him, why would you fire him? But to be totally honest, I think David Culley was ass. I think he looked like he was coaching a middle school. He looked like he was coaching a little pee wee team. I don't know. Hey guys, after a loss, hey guys, I know we lost by 30, but we did such a great job today, and I'm impressed. We're doing a great job, and we're we're improving. Next week, I'll lose by 40,
Yeah. I
but
mean, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna live stream. It's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Nah, you good. You good. You good. You good, man. You good. Yeah. So, I mean, David Culley, he was a special teams. He was a special teams coordinator. Then he was a receivers coach. Uh, I kind of was on. I understand the firing, but Does it
I
make
think
give
I
you
think I
concern?
think the
Go ahead.
Texans need to hire someone who's experienced though.
Yes. That's yeah. You picked my brain again. You thought I was just gonna say that and ask you that question. So the candidates that we got out there, you got Ryan Flores, experience, and you got Gerard Mayo, really no head coaching experience. You got Jonathan Gannon, a defensive coordinator for the Eagles. No head coaching experience right now. He has not been a head coach. Uh, you got Eric Bieniemy, no head coaching experience, but
I
he's an
don't know
offensive
if really
coordinator.
head coaching experience matters.
Yeah,
Like I mean it does, but like we don't need a head coach experience. I'm not saying like that, but
yeah,
like getting like an offensive coordinator, a really good offensive coordinator, a really good defensive coordinator is much better than David Culley.
yeah,
David Culley didn't know what the hell he was doing, and I don't even know why the hell they hired him in the first place. If you tell the
yeah.
truth,
That was surprising.
and and he
I didn't
and
think they
he
would want to go that far.
they need to
That was
hire someone
surprising.
who's gonna. They need to. They need to hire someone who's gonna push them around and tell them what to do. David Culley was never gonna do that. I
Yep.
feel like Lovey Smith was more strict than he was.
I wouldn't mind would have kept in Lovey Smith and promoting him as a head coach. I wouldn't have
No, I
really
don't think
minded
so.
that.
I don't think so because I think he's great as a defensive coordinator,
Yeah,
and
but I
he
wouldn't. I didn't think he would be bad as a coach. I wouldn't think he would be bad as head coach. I
I
know he's a
think we need
defensive
that as a.
coordinator.
I think we need a defensive coordinator, a good defensive coordinator right now to keep this defense up. I think
Yep.
he's a very strong leader as a defensive coordinator, but I mean, this dude would be in the press conference, oh, all happy, joyful. I mean, he looked like it was Christmas Day or
Hmm.
some shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like if Lovey Smith, you promote Lovey Smith, I wouldn't be mad because you still
Like,
got Mike Zimmer out there as a D. He could be a defensive coordinator. You still got
like
him
if you're
as him
winning
out there.
if you're
Hmm.
winning football games, be as joyful as you want. Eh, You can be like Oprah. You get one or you get one in the press conference. But when you're losing by 30 every game, I he should be like Bill Belichick, where when they ask him one question, he says, "I'm getting the fuck
Hmm.
out of here."
Yeah. Like like Bill Belichick, a great Popovich. I love watching their press
I just
conference.
hate the way sometimes. I mean, I just hated the way he talked. He
Yeah.
talked like they were a winning football team.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, and with so much enthusiasm. Like, why are you so? What is this express? Are you thinking you're coaching a different team? You're coaching the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Get a different mindset.
Yep.
Bill O'Brien would have Bill O'Brien would have done better than him.
Yeah. Oh, he was. I thought Bill O'Brien was okay as a head
Oh
coach.
no, he sucks. He
No,
sucks.
I thought he was.
But but
See,
David Culley sucks even more to the point.
yeah.
For the
This
point
see,
where
this is the only problem I had with Bill O'Brien. He was a play caller and a GM. If he was, if he focused on being a head coach only, and you just had an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, he would have been fine. That would have been fine with me because Bill O'Brien won games. He took us to playoffs. That's why I was kind of. I thought that's why I would go on the line and defend him a little bit and say he was okay coach. He wasn't great. He was an average coach. We won games with him. We won playoff divisional championships with him. It just too much power. And you get to the point when you're calling the offensive plays. That's not Bill
I don't
O'Brien.
blame him for that. I don't
Yeah,
blame him for that.
I don't. Yeah,
If I had such a shit offensive coordinator as Tim Kelly,
yeah. I'm
I
glad
would
he's gone. I don't really think that.
I would have made him sit down.
Yeah, yeah. I can agree with
But
you on that edge of the part. Tim Kelly
and
is a trash offensive coordinator. He's
I
definitely
think the
trash.
offensive coordinator hire might be more important than the head coach.
Yeah. So who would you hire on your in your personal opinion? Who would you look at as the head coach right now?
Oh
Who would you
God,
lean
I don't
in?
fucking know.
What are you hearing?
Um,
Have you heard anything about this head coaching job right now? Because I heard
um.
Jonathan Gannon is probably the front runner, but who are you hearing?
Oh, you talking about
Right now?
head coach or offensive coordinator?
Head coach. That's what I'm hearing. He's the
Oh, I
front
thought you were
runner.
talking about offensive coordinator.
No, no, head coach. Head coach. Yeah,
I'm not picking Josh Cannon, Jonathan
yeah.
Gannon.
I wouldn't
I
want him either.
swear, I swear to fucking God, if the Texans hire Josh McCown, I'm gonna lose it. If he's their coach, I don't know if I'll be able to watch a Texans game in 2022.
I got a feeling it's gonna be a guy from New England. I got a
Now,
feeling
but
he'll
as
be.
reported, the Texans, I mean, they want to hire Josh McCown, but only if only if another team interviews him. And I'm reading this, I'm like, oh no way in fucking hell this happens. And then like 3 hours later, the Jaguars maybe want to talk with Josh McCown. Like, fuck.
I don't see he just got up out of the league. He just got up out of the league a couple of years
Less than a
ago.
year ago, he was backup quarterback for the Texans.
Yes. So I don't like see Texans. They about to you since you brought this up, and I saw this on the Texans Twitter that they just got done with the interview with y'all. That's making me nervous. I'm not gonna lie. That's really making me nervous. That
I don't think it's
again,
gonna happen though.
yo,
I
I
think
hope it don't happen. Yeah,
I think I think it's gonna be something where this has been happening ever since Bill O'Brien was here, and this has been happening ever since Kaseri was here, or it's been happening ever since that little fucking sleazeball Jack Easterby was here. I think the Texans will be hiring someone who's familiar with the New England Patriots,
yeah. See, that's what I had to
and
go.
that's not Josh McCown.
Gerard Mayo.
So,
I won't be
yeah,
surprised.
Gerard
Uh,
Mayo, Brian Flores, and Josh McDaniels.
I got a feeling it's going to be out of one of them three. Do you actually feel like Ryan Flores? But do you feel like we? It's a shop that we're doing it
No way,
because
hell
okay,
no.
okay.
I don't think he'll come here because he wants to be
Deshaun,
with Deshaun Watson,
yeah, okay. He doesn't want to play here.
and
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson doesn't want to be here. He
yeah.
wants to be with
Okay,
Brian Flores, but he doesn't
that
want to
makes
be
sense.
here.
That
And
makes sense. Yeah,
I think Brian Flores cares more. He got fired because of Deshaun Watson. So if Deshaun Watson doesn't want to, I mean, the Dolphins were a good football team.
yeah.
He wasn't fired because of the record. The
Mm-hmm.
last 2 seasons, they were 19 and 14. They was not fired because of the record. It was because of his feuds with the GM about Deshaun Watson. The GM wants Tua, Flores wants Watson to
Yeah. So
be.
they back and forward. Yeah. Okay.
So now Watson's not going to be going to Miami.
Yeah. So wherever, so it's a possibility wherever Ryan Flores wants to go to, you feel like that Watson was going to try to make his way with Ryan Flores.
I
If
say the Giants
okay, the Giants. Okay, that's a good option.
and
That's pretty much.
The Bears. I know he's going to get an interview with there, but Deshaun can't go there if he gets hired by them.
Yeah, you got Justin Fields over there.
I
How
mean,
about
also I could see the Bears making a Fields Watson trade. It's not smart because of
yeah,
Watson's legal issues. Well, you want to talk about that?
yeah, we can do it. Go ahead, go ahead, talk about it. Go ahead.
You start. You start about the Watson legal issues. I don't know
Uh,
what.
I mean, again, I heard some rumors that a couple is true. I heard rumors, but then again, I don't know what went on. I don't know what went on about that situation or not. So I heard a couple of them is true. I heard if he paid him out, he would have been fine. He still would have been okay, eligible to play. But the problem is he didn't. He's not want to pay the women off to stop them from talking. So if he comes out, he pays the women off what they want. He's done. You have no Watson. You have none of this. You have none of this going back and forth. Just because Watson is not paying him off, he's not nowhere near eligible to play because he's not paying them off. So I mean, I heard a
You ready
couple
for
of
this?
them. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you want to bet? The moment that Deshaun Watson gets traded, all those damn lawsuits are dropped.
I wouldn't bet, but again, I think if once he's out of Houston, hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so let's look at the little sleazeball Tony Busby who's
Okay.
representing all those women. And then you got that little ugly ass mustache, probably racist. What's his name? Ah, crap. McNair. What's his
Mhm.
first name though? Uh, first name is Cal. Cal. So then you
Yeah.
got Cal. You got Cal. You got Tony Busby. I've heard they're close friends.
Mm-hmm.
Now going back to January, Deshaun Watson after the season says I want a trade request. Now
Mm-hmm.
trade requests happened, then lawsuits happened.
Yep.
Cal McNair is he's a bad owner. I respect the hell out of Bob McNair. I think he was a great guy. May he rest in peace. But
Yep.
Cal McNair's done a shit job, and Bob is probably rolling in his grave right now, saying stop fucking up my football team. But I mean, I don't know, but
Yep.
this is a possibility. It's probably not. It probably didn't happen, but maybe Cal told Tony get a bunch of girls and tell them that they get proof that they like Deshaun raped them or sexually assaulted them, and then we have hold on Deshaun, and he'll try to stay here. And maybe after, if you want the lawsuits to drop, you're gonna play for us. And he didn't
Yep.
agree to that. And then maybe the moment he gets traded, those lawsuits drop. I don't know. But the thing I also have, if he actually was with those women, there was like reported that he flew one of them out from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
You flew a massager out from Atlanta. You tell me she didn't want to fuck him? I mean,
Ha!
you could go to a nail salon, you can go a massage place, you can go anywhere. The stuff in Houston where you can go and get that done. You're flying someone out from Atlanta. I mean, what do you think? The 21 girls, not all of them didn't want to bang him.
Yeah. Yeah. Not all of them didn't, but
Probably all of them did. I mean,
mm-mm.
look at the guy. He's handsome. He's rich. I mean, he plays football. I mean, why wouldn't you want to? I mean, so
Yep.
I don't know,
So the
but
where did I mean besides the off season, besides that happening, what did you think frustrated Watson?
and then
Mm-hmm.
also uh, you got the fact that sorry, you got the fact that oh my god, boy, give me a second. You got the fact that go ahead with your question. I've
My
lost
bad.
that shit in
Okay.
my
No,
brain.
you good. All right. So what did you think? I mean, we know you. Does this become a factor when you know DeAndre Hopkins was traded? Did that play into a factor of why Watson wanted out, or was it something else? Why Watson wanted out? What did you think?
I don't think it was the
Push
Hopkins
Watson.
trade
Okay. Okay.
because one of the reasons Hopkins was traded was for Watson's money. So
Yeah.
it was one of the reasons was O'Brien being a sleazeball and a retard with his little double chin, but one of the other reasons was the arguments with Bill O'Brien and Hopkins. But then the third one was so they could get money to pay Deshaun. So
Yeah. So what pushed Watson? What did you think pushed him for a trade though? The actual trade. What did you think
the
pushed him?
hires of the head coach and the GM,
Okay. 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 Yeah. The same thing. Same
they
thing.
told
Yeah.
him they,
Go
they,
ahead.
they told him that he had a say, and then he didn't.
Yep. That's what I know. That's what I know for a fact. They told him that he would have a say in the head coaching dispute and a GM's dispute, and he did a 180 on him and told him he was not going to be involved in it. So again, did you feel like again that he deserved to have a say in who it is? Did you feel that way?
Um, I don't know about GM, but coach for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I get. Yeah. I
But if they told him he had a say in the GM, then he should have a say.
Yeah, you should have a say. If they came out and definitely said that hey, that you're gonna get a say, that you can get a say so that even if he listens, the GM listens, I will be fine with that. If he listens to me, if he just listens and then listen to the options I have, if he's willing to listen, then I'll just be fine with that. I'll be fine. But another thing saying that he will have a say and be a part of it, that's another thing. You do a 180, then yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing about it. So again, Davis Mills progression. What did you think this year of it?
But who?
Davis Mills, the quarterback
Oh,
for the Texans. What
I
did you
thought you
think
said.
of
I
his
thought you
quarterback?
said Davis. I thought you said Davis. I thought. Wait, sorry. I thought you said David Smith. Um, I mean, that's how bad he sucks. Can't even recognize his name when it's pronounced. But I like the way he finished the season.
Yeah,
But I don't know if it's in. I think the draft class is so bad this year of quarterbacks. We're to the point where I'd rather have Davis Mills as a starter for this year than one of those quarterbacks because I don't want to waste the third overall pick by taking a quarterback who should be the 10th or the fourth.
yep, yep,
And one of the reasons the Texans want to hire Josh McCown is because his agent is this represents defensive end Aiden Hutchinson for Michigan,
yeah,
which I think is stupid. Number one, because if you want to draft the fucker, just draft the fucker.
yeah. Just
Number
dropped him. Yeah.
and number two, I think he's going to. I don't know who has the second pick. It's
You got
Detroit.
Jacksonville and Detroit is the number one
Yeah,
and number
so
two.
I think Detroit's going to draft him at two. So they're screwed.
Yep.
I don't know what Jacksonville's going to do. They going to draft someone defensive or offensive line. I don't.
Yeah, they can go either way though. They can go either way. They can go either way. So opposing if the top two players off the board that I'm really expecting because really we don't know what Jacksonville is going to end up doing. We don't know if they're going to draft Evan Neal. We don't know if they're going to draft Thibodeau. We don't know who they're going to draft. But we know who the Lions are going to go for. We know who the Lions are going to get, Hutchinson or Thibodeau, if one of those are still out. So if both of the defensive ends are gone, who would you take in the number three pick? I know you probably don't pick up on college, but would you go best player available? Would you go offensive line? Just let me know. Would you go offensive line? You go cornerback? We need a lot of holes. I'm a feeling we're gonna need a lot of holes. What would you draft? What would you actually go with? We know quarterback may not be the option. So what position would you go for actually?
Number one, I don't. Besides Hutchinson and some of the quarterbacks on this list, and some of the names I saw but don't really remember, I don't really know. This is one of the one. This is like a draft class where like I don't know any of these fuckers.
Yep.
Like I don't know. It was such a weird college football season this year, but I mean, at third, I'm not drafting anyone O line. I mean, the O line wasn't that bad this year. It was pretty bad,
No,
but it
it was
wasn't
it
that
wasn't
bad.
it wasn't that really bad. Yeah.
I draft defense. I
Okay.
don't know who the best available is, but I draft
All right.
defense. Maybe
All
a
right.
safety to fill in the void of Justin Reed. But I would draft someone who's in the front seven.
Yep. So Justin Reed is clear that he's going to be gone right this year.
Well,
That
it's
you
not it's
think?
unofficial, but I mean, looking back at his Instagram post, I mean, it sounded like a goodbye.
Yeah. Okay. Can you reveal what did that Instagram post said actually?
Well, my phone died, but
Yeah.
it was something like I don't know, like I don't think I'll be able to play this week because I have COVID, but it's been a great last 3 years. Like you wouldn't do that unless you knew you were staying.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
All right. So he said. So basically, he came out and said he had a great 3 years.
or 4 or whatever it was.
4 years. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna indicate that he's gone. So if you don't say something like that, if you know you're not gonna be gone, so that indicates that we're gonna definitely lose Justin Reed. I know
Yeah,
it's not confirmed, but that indicates that he's leaving. He's taking a different direction.
to
So
where though?
to where that's it's probably going to be somewhere that's way better than us. I know
It's
that for a
definitely gonna
fact.
be somewhere.
Somewhere that's way better than we are, who we are. So, Miss Breezy, how you doing today? Yeah, but it's gonna be somewhere way
I
better. Yes, I'm guaranteeing that.
I heard something about the Jets, the Giants. I don't know. I know they're not better than the Texans, but
Yeah,
I mean, Uh, but one of the stupidest things that I hated what the Texans did this year was, I mean, the way they got rid of players, like they waived Zach Cunningham.
mm-hmm.
They waived players stupidly. Like what? Why, just wait to trade them, and you could trade them in the offseason.
Yeah,
Like Philip Lindsay. Like I know you probably could have not got much for him, but it was better than damn waiving him.
waving
I
them.
mean,
Yep. I
I
mean,
know,
so this was the problem though. David Culley managing players too. I mean,
and I think
yeah,
I don't know if you saw it, but now 49ers defensive end, Charles Omenihu, former Texans player, he said
Yep.
the other day, someone asked such a stupid question, but someone asked, who, what's the difference between the 49ers? He said it's not a rambling mess. I mean, he's right. I mean, David Culley, like there was a projected starting lineup, and then David Culley just ruined it by getting rid of players. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is hard for me to say, but someone who I do not like, Vernon Hargraves, who was actually playing that well, he gets cut. I mean,
Yep.
but I mean, that's one of the reasons he should be gone.
I mean, again, I definitely, like I say, understood it. If you're gonna let the coach go due to the coaching market this year, and it's okay, it's very good. You got to have a plan. You have to really actually have a plan to fire
That's something they
somebody.
don't have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm questioning what is the plan. We fired David Culley after 1 year, mate. Like he was no doubt a 1 year rental. And if Nick Casario said you believe in David Culley, if you actually believe in someone, why did you fire? You believe in someone that you fired. So again, now
I don't
it is.
know. My question is, why are you leaving him in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But if you saying in a press conference you actually believe in David Culley,
I don't.
that
I
you
don't know.
believe he was
I
the
don't
guy.
know if like. I don't know if like sports companies are doing this, but I think he's one of the top five worst coaches of all time. I don't think he's going to even coach again after that.
Yo, yo,
Send him to the retirement home.
I'm telling you. So I'm interested in seeing what is the plan now. What hiring that we're gonna do? What are the coordinators that we're actually gonna have now that we're gonna have a new head coach and he's gonna want his own coaching staff. He's gonna bring his own coaching staff in. What coordinators do we got? What offensive? If we have a coach that can do the offensive play calling, what defensive coordinator that we're definitely going to have, what special teams coordinators, what are we going to have? So what would be the plan to fire a coach like David Culley, a 1 year rental, and then if you're going to fire somebody, you got to have something better up your sleeve that you know about, that you've been discussing with. So if you have a blank feeling, like you saying it's going to be one of the Patriot guys.
I said it. Well, that's the head coach, but I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I think the offensive coordinator hire might be more important than the head coach hire
Yeah.
because, and I said it in a video.
Yep.
Um, I said in a video earlier a couple days ago that I thought one of the reasons the Texans' offense has been so bad the last 2 years is because of Tim Kelly.
Yep. Yep.
Because I mean, I don't know, but that's
Yeah,
just
I
my
mean,
thought.
like everybody
You
would
look at the
agree with you.
2020 Texans roster, right?
Yeah.
I said this. I'm not saying they should have won the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they should have made it to AFC Championship game. I'm not even saying they should have made it to the playoffs. But you have Deshaun Watson on your team, and who cares if you don't have D Hop? You still have two lethal threats in Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks. And then he had like Kenny Stills, QQQT. I mean, okay, does he not have a good running back? But is David Johnson? I think you're much better with David Johnson than you are with Duke Johnson
Yep.
and Carlos Hyde from the year before. So the only thing you're really taking away, the defense is kind of the same. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
J.J. Watt and Whitley Merciless are a little older, but I mean, a team that has Deshaun Watson should not go 4-12. And there were so many games that season that the Texans should have won. A couple games against the Colts,
We
a
fumbled the
couple
ball
games
twice,
against,
I believe, against the Colts.
yeah,
Yep.
QT, dumb fuck.
Yep.
What an idiot though. I mean, I'm kind of glad he was released. I was talking about all
Yep.
the other guys being released.
That's why he stopped playing.
That
That's
that
why
was one
Dylan
of the
Brown
ones that
stopped
was
playing.
good.
Yep.
Um, and then and then you got the two games
Minnesota.
versus the Titans.
Yep.
The
Minnesota
opener
game we
we
lost
won
on
in
the goal
Tennessee.
line. Yep.
So that's 4 games we're talking about. That's 8.
That's
And then
eight
there's
games.
probably a couple other games the Texans should have won.
Minnesota. Minnesota, we lost on the goal line. We lost on the goal line actually at Minnesota against
I
Minnesota.
can't really
We
say
lost
we should
off.
have.
Now we lost on a botch snap though. I believe it was close. We lost on a botch snap. I
I
believe.
mean, I don't think we would have won that game because we were down by 8. We could have scored a touchdown, but I don't think we
Yeah,
would have made it for 2. And
yeah.
then we're sitting here,
That at least gives you a chance. That at
The
least gives
Vikings
you
would
a
have had
chance.
like a the
Yeah,
Vikings would have had like a minute left if they got the ball back. Probably would have scored a field goal. But if it goes
yeah,
overtime, I think we still lose. But
yeah.
what I'm saying is, a team with Deshaun Watson should not go 4-12.
See, I
And
tell people that all the time.
that year was Tim Kelly's first year. So
I mean, like the Tennessee game, the first Tennessee game. Do you blame Romeo Cornell for going for two on that? The way that defense looked, the way that defense looked, the way like I could not blame Romeo Cornell for trying to get the game over with for going for two. The way that defense played, and we couldn't stop Derrick Henry to save our life. He ran a 98-yard touchdown run on us. Do you actually blame Romeo Cornell that first Tennessee game for going for that 2-point conversion because the defense was bad that game, and they still went down the field and scored a 2-point conversion and an extra point. They still did it.
I actually do.
I mean, you must have saw something I saw. I didn't
If
see.
if I can remember, I'm pretty sure it was a 7 point game when they scored it after they scored the touchdown.
Yep.
And if they went for an extra point, it would have been an 8 point game. But they went for two, try to make it a 9 point game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just go for the extra point? I know it's good to put the game away, but there's like a 40% chance you get that 2 point conversion. And with how inconsistent the Texans' offense is, and then off, and then in, I would have went for the extra point. You got Farron Brand as a kicker,
Mm-hmm.
easily knock it through. So I don't know, but
I mean, the way
I
I was
think if you
looking,
go for the extra point, you win the game.
but the way that Romeo Cornell looked at it, that shows you he didn't trust in that defense in that game. He did not trust in the way the defense played in that game. If you just looked at the situation, I looked at the same situation he looked at.
I know I don't think you trust it either, but
Yep,
it takes much more time to score a touchdown if you're down by 8 than 7 because there's
yep.
more
But
pressure.
yeah, the way you looked at it, but then again, you kick the extra point. You kick the extra point. The way Tennessee went back down the field and scored. That's what I saw in Romeo Cornell, the way he looked at that defense and the way they went down there and scored that way. He said this
That game went
shit, that
overtime,
probably would
right?
have happened anyway.
That game went overtime, right?
Yep, they won it. The game went in overtime, and Derrick Henry burnt us again in the overtime with a touchdown. He burnt us with a touchdown. That's how bad that defense played in that second game. In the first game, second game we definitely should have won though. Second game, same thing. The defense, same thing, same thing. We lost on the AJ Brown. Basically, kept getting behind the defense. We lost that game, and we had to come back. Matter of fact, again, we came back. We came back actually in that game. That last game, we came back actually in the game and tied it. Actually, we did come back in that game. We had to come from behind to almost win that game. We lost 8 close games that year. 8 close football games that we really shouldn't have really lost. We lost 8 close football games. Uh, the Bengals game we lost close. I think I forgot we how many. The Bengals scored 40. I think the Bengals scored over 40 against us. Or 30, 37. It was one of those that they scored on us. I think we
Um,
scored over 30. I think we scored
I
over
think it was
30.
34-31.
34, 31.
I think so.
Okay, okay, okay. It was one of those. It was in the 30. It was in the 30, but we could not stop the offense whatsoever in that game. And our offense was hot that pretty much that whole game. So, like you said, man, against a Deshaun Watson led team and stuff like that, we shouldn't even lost most of those games. And you forgot Will Fuller. I think he got suspended in the middle of the year. He got suspended in the middle of the year. I think the last 6 regular season games after
And
that.
Bradley Roby.
Huh?
And Roby, too.
Yo, and Bradley Roby got suspended for the last games of the season. I think we released Kenny Stills. We still released the Kenny Stills for some reason. And
And then
then some
we had Brandon Cooks who would miss a couple games in the last season. It was Cooks, Kiki QT, who would
Yep.
fumble, and
Fumbled two
then it
games
was
away, basically.
and then it was surprisingly who did well was Chad Hansen, and the Texans released him. I don't know. I mean, he did okay for the
Chad,
Texans.
I think Chad Henson was pretty good. The time he was pretty good. He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all. And Deshaun Watson was making guys like that look good, making guys look good. So again, I mean, you want to say Deshaun Watson had weapons, but we know DeAndre Hopkins was great with any quarterback that we really had. That we really had. Probably except Brock Osweiler and Deshaun and DeAndre Hopkins still had a great season.
Wait, and also I also forgot to say this. The Texans had Randall Cobb too.
Yep,
The start
but
of
he
the
didn't play.
season.
Yep, he
Huh?
didn't play for the half a year. He started the
No,
season. Yep.
not yeah, like not at the end of the season. But remember we were talking about if he wanted out because of Hopkins. If he
Yeah.
wanted out because of Hopkins,
Yeah.
and when I said, oh, they have full, he still has Fuller, he has Cooks, and he has Stills and QT, and he had Cobb as well.
Yep. That wasn't a bad receiving core right there. And we lost to Pittsburgh. That was another close game.
Yeah, I was
That
about
was
to say that too.
that was another close game where we lost. We lost 21-14 to Pittsburgh. That was another close, really actually close, another close game that we lost. So we lost that season 8 close games. So then again, man, like got yet almost at the 2 hour mark, man.
We got
So
the Cleveland game too.
Cleveland game. What you talking about? What? Oh yeah, that game was 10-7. The game was 10-7. Yeah,
That was
Kareem.
one of the best shit games of the year.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible. I think it was 10-7 or 17-7. It was one of those games. Yeah, 17-7. That's what I believe. Kareem Hunt stuck a dagger in us. I believe it was 10 to
No,
7 or
no,
7.
it was 10-7 because Kareem Hunt, or not, no, Nick Chubb
I
was
mean Nick Chubb.
got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
He could have got a touchdown, but he walked out at the one. It was
Yeah. It
kind
was
of a
10 to
slap in
7.
the face.
Yep. But again, we had a chance to score on the opening drive, which is we did. We turned it over on downs. We turned it over on downs, the opening drive. That would have really actually been the touchdown that we had right there. We turned the ball over on drives, on downs right
Like
there. So
I don't blame Cornell for
yeah,
not wanting to go, not wanting to kick a field goal when you're like
when you're at the 1 yard
deep.
line, when you're at the 1.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different when.
I don't
No, I
blame
think they
that.
were like
Yeah.
at the 3 or 4.
Yeah. I'm not blaming that on them at all right there.
No,
I'll
I
let
actually
that
kind of
go.
am. I mean, it was that easy just to kick a field goal. It's not
Yeah.
hard for Fernbear to make it 20. I mean, it's
Nah,
easy.
for real. That's basically what the extra point used to be. It's really actually not hard. So again,
I mean,
man,
a 30 or 40 might have been hard for him because of the wind and the
yeah, the
snow that
wind.
they
It
were
was kind
dealing
of cold
with.
out there. It was kind of
Yeah.
cold in Cleveland as well. It's kind of cold out there. So yeah, man, I'm about to get ready to end the show, man. It was great having you on, man. So man, I hope we can do this another time, man. So
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
get ready to get in some playoff football in an hour or
Wait, can
two.
we talk
So
about that before you go?
oh yeah, come on. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
let's talk about the
So
playoffs.
give me your predictions. Give me your predictions in the playoffs and what was the surprises of the weekend, man? Give me your predictions of today's games and last week. What who did you have winning last week?
Last week I had I had Cincinnati winning. That
Mm-hmm.
went right. I had New. I think I might have took. I almost took New England, but then I took Buffalo because the home field advantage.
Yep.
Um, I wanted Pittsburgh to win, but I picked Kansas City. That was all the AFC games, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was all the AFC
And then
games.
with NFC, I picked the 49ers. I picked the Bucks, but I thought it was going to be a close game. Um, and then the final one was the shit. What was the other one? Crap.
You said it was
Cowboys 49ers. It was Bucks
it was the Rams
Eagles.
and us
Yeah, yeah, Rams Cardinals.
Rams and
Rams
Cardinals.
Cardinals. I took the Cardinals, but then they
Yeah.
lost. Um,
So who you got this week? Who you going for? Who you got in this week and in Sunday's games? Who you got this weekend?
well,
tonight
Well,
today's.
I gotta pull for Cincinnati this week. You know, they Cincinnati got Joe Burrow, and then they got sexy Jamar Chase. You gotta pull for Cincinnati. I
Yep.
am excited to see Derrick Henry return, but I gotta take Cincinnati. I think they'll pull them out. Actually, Buffalo, Kansas City. I think it'll be a great game, but I hope Buffalo wins it. And I think they'll win as well.
Okay.
NFC Packers 49ers. I think it'll be a good close game, but I think the Packers win. The Bucks Rams. I'm taking the Rams.
Okay.
Because
Okay. The round.
I don't think
Yeah.
The Bucks don't have any weapons besides Evans and Gronk.
Yep. Yep. So, yep. You got the Chiefs on. You got the Rams at 2 o'clock on tomorrow, and you got the Chiefs and Bills
What
and
time is the Cincinnati Tennessee game tonight? Today?
uh today it's at 3:30. It's at 3:30. Right
What time are
now.
you going on the Spotlight Network?
I'm going on the Spotlight Network by 2 o'clock. By 2 o'clock. By
Oh
two
man,
o'clock.
you'll start in an early pregame.
Yeah, we're gonna start it early. We kind of starting it early right there. And then at 7:15, we got the 49ers and we got the Packers at 7:15 for
Who do you think
tonight.
wins that game?
I want the 49. You know what? I want the 49ers to win. I don't have nobody winning this game. I went NA because again, I know the 49ers have the defense and they have the defense. They have the pass rush to get to Aaron Rodgers. The problem is, man, I'm the problem for the 49ers. I'm not don't like the quarterback in Jimmy G. I think he's an average quarterback. He turns the ball over in big time situations. And I'm just not liking what I'm seeing from Jimmy Garoppolo right now. I'm just not liking what
To
I'm
be totally
seeing
honest,
from it.
I think he's better than Trey Lance.
As of
Because
right
like
now, yeah, because longevity right now got him right now.
I
Longevity
don't know
got
if
him.
Trey Lance is going to be that good, to be totally honest. And I think
Yeah.
I think the quarterback rookie class, not only this year but last year too, was so bad this year to the point where I think
Hmm.
Davis Mills is the second most talented quarterback of them all, and he sucks. Mac
Yeah.
Jones is the best, and then you got a whole debate. Maybe you could, with the way Zach Wilson finished the season, maybe you could say he's like he might be the second best, but I lean over both Mills and Wilson finished the season strong though.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. 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 So yeah, man. We gonna wrap it up right here.
I got one
Right
more
here.
question, then we'll wrap it up.
Go ahead.
How long do you think it takes for the Rockets to get into like championship stuff? Like not championship, but like to be good.
I'm gonna go with 3. I'm gonna go with 3 years or less. That's
And
what I'm going.
and we talked about what I'm looking for Gordon and Wood. But what are you looking for?
I will be if you can get a first round pick from Gordon. I will be fine with that.
But like player wise though,
I don't think Gordon is. I don't think Gordon in this stage of his career is worth a really franchise worth a player like that. It depends on what you're gonna get on 1 year rental for him. Like if the Rockets get a protected first round pick, I will be fine. I will be fine letting Eric Gordon go for a protected first round pick. You getting a protected first round pick coming in next year draft. If you can get a protected first round pick out of a playoff scenario team, knowing their situation and knowing he's going to help your team uh get in the playoffs, especially one of those Cleveland teams, those teams that's fighting for a playing seed or getting in. If you can get a protected first round, I will be fine with. I will really actually be fine with that. But if they decide to give you a player, a role player, or something, then hey, you can use him for a 1 year rental. And if you don't
you
like what
can't
you
use
see,
Ricky Rubio. You can't use Ricky Rubio if he's
no, you
injured
can't.
though.
I don't want Ricky Rubio. I will be fine with the first round pick if it's protected. I will be fine with that. Ricky Rubio's not playing, so you're just wasting. You're just wasting. You're just wasting
And then you
at
probably
this
can't get
point.
much back for him. All right, last thing,
Yeah,
and then we will finally wrap it up.
yeah.
Now I brought it up, but we didn't really talk about you. What are your ideas on on the potential flip back Westbrook wall?
We already had Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook wants to win a championship. As a getting in this late stage of his career, where he wants to win a championship. But like I say again, do Westbrook actually care about winning? That's the problem. Do we actually care about winning, or do we actually care about being that scorer? getting in the Hall of Fame with no championship, being a great player, just to lead a team to get in the playoffs. That's it. That's the only thing I got about Russell Westbrook. Do he
I, I
wants
would
to
I would
win?
I would do a Westbrook trade number one because I the Rockets are barely going to get anything else for a Wall, and then also you got the fact of I think Westbrook would lead this team to play in a game, and I think those young guys need playing playoff experience, which they would have that, and then also in the off season. Compared from John Wall to Russell Westbrook, I think they could get better trade value from Westbrook in the offseason than Wall. But
Yo, it
I'll
was
see it
already hard.
happens.
It was already hard to get rid of Westbrook anyway in this offseason. Actually,
Yeah,
it's
but I
hard.
think it's a little different now because he wouldn't be requesting a trade this time. I think he'd just be putting him in the market.
Yo. So other than that, man, you know, just got my stream set up a few minutes ago for the network. So, got to give a little time. But man, I appreciate you for being a part of the channel, man. Hoping sometime, you know, in the future that we can collab again. Again about what a team. I hope the team is in a little better state. Hope we can get a head coach by the end from Houston, man. So appreciate you, man, for being a part of the
Thank you for having me
collab.
on.
Yes, sir. Any given time, my boy. Shout out to you, chat. We up out of here, man.